It's a Thursday night cat clash here on North Metro 15 as the Spring Lake Park Panthers take on the Blaine Bengals as these two teams begin to wrap up the regular season. With this one tonight, this is the final regular season game for the Spring Lake Park Panthers, coming in a record of 11-6 and 7-5 in the conference. Blaine, meanwhile, a record of 6-10 overall and 4-7 in the conference. They have one game remaining on the road at Elk River. Hello, everybody. I'm Nick Walsh for North Metro TV. Thanks for joining us tonight as we are underway with the home team Blaine Bengals winning the opening tip here in Blaine. As this is Dylan Myers with the basketball. Myers starting along with Aaron Call, Samuel Olson, Max Stepanek, and Isaac Moyne for the Bengals. And this is Myers, the 6'2 senior, with the basketball, and then rotating around to Moyne on the elbow. As we mentioned, Blaine a record of 6-10, coming off a win, 59-52 at Anoka. As Myers looking inside on the block to Moyne, and he can't get it to go. As Jack Leifker waiting on the weak side, the 6'8 senior center for Spring Lake Park with the basketball. And the Panthers with the basketball for the first time tonight is Trey Johnston with it now. And off to Nick Ogile, who will drive off the glass. No good. Blocked from behind by Call. Johnston, Fitzray, Caleb Skelly, Jack Leifker, and Nick Ogile, the starting five for Spring Lake Park tonight. As you can see the man-to-man defense by the Panthers. And stolen away. And it's picked up here by Ray, and he jams it home to start this one off. 2-0 in favor of Spring Lake Park. First bucket of the game for either team. As we mentioned, Blaine coming off a win, as is Spring Lake Park, 68-63 over Rogers in their last contest. There's Moyne from the top of the key. Very patient so far, and nearly another steal there by Ray. Into the corner now for Stepanek for three. And the long rebound picked up by Caleb Skelly, and the Panthers with the basketball. Good rotation here as Ray with it again. Now Nick Ogile will bring it back to the top and back to Ray. He'll try from three. Yes! 5 for Ray and a 5-0 lead for Spring Lake Park. Spring Lake Park above 500, 7-5 in the Northwest Suburban. Last tune-up before the section tournament for the Panthers. 3 on the way by Call is no good. And here comes Spring Lake Park again. Quick shot there, pulled up by Skelly. And one and done this time for the Panthers after 2 straight buckets. Hard to believe we're already to this point of the season, but despite the fact that we got off late, we're finishing up just a couple of weeks behind where we usually are at this time of year. As the drive, and no for Myers, but he's going to the line as the foul is going to be called against Spring Lake Park's Fitzgerald Ray, the 6'4 senior guard. Ray averaging 11.4 per game and has all 5 points so far, but Dylan Myers will go to the line. He averages just over 5 points per game. And the first one, no good. And the second one is up and good. 1 of 2 for Myers in a 5-1 game. Blaine as well in a man-to-man defense. This will go out of bounds, and they're going to say last touch by the Panthers, and Leifker did not like that call at all, shaking his head back down the way, but it'll be Blaine basketball on the turnover. Moyne guarded all the way down by Ray. He had the steal to get the first basket of the game. As Call out on the wing. Call a dangerous three-point shooter for the Bengals. And Stepanek kicks it back out to Call. Moyne backing his way in. And back out to Call again. Leifker Guarding underneath. Nice move, however, by Samuel Olson. The 6'5" senior going against the 6'8" Leifker as Leifker picks up his first foul and the second against Spring Lake Park here. Just about 3.5 minutes in. And the first one no good for Olson. He leads this team in scoring, 11.8 points per game. Call right behind him at 11.6. So 2 equal scorers to top off this Bengal squad. As the second one is no good, and Leifker is able to sky high for the rebound. 4-point advantage here for the Panthers. Ogile dumping it into the corner now for Skelly. Nice pass underneath to Ray, who lays it up and in. 7 points now for Ray as he's got all 7 for Spring Lake Park and an early 6-point lead. Really nice pass inside, finding Ray underneath the basket for the easy lay-in. Myers trying to get it inside to Olson, but guarded nicely by Leifker, who now switches off to Olson. And Olson drives around, and that was affected by Leifker. He got it back, however. Here comes Call for 3, and it's good. Aaron Call, his first points of the game. A 3-pointer from the elbow. It's 7-4. Quickly back the other way is Ogile, who will answer. Ogile averages 5.7 a game. And he dials it up for 3 to make it a 10-4 game. Stepanek will bring it to the top. Both of these teams play relatively short rotations, so the starting 5 still in there, and we'll see a lot of them for the most part. Stepanek giving it off now to Moyne, pulling up from the free throw line, and he gets it to go. Isaac Moyne averaging 6.5 per game, gets his first points. And it's 10-6 now, Spring Lake Park. Leifker. Back to Skelly from 16 is good. Caleb Skelly, he's the leader with 16.8 points per game. And Spring Lake Park back up by 6 now. Led by 6 for about half of this first half. That's the biggest lead of the game. And we've got a foul. Stepanek is going to be called for an offensive foul. He lost control coming up the baseline and was kind of unbalanced as he tried to pass it back out. It was one of those plays where maybe got underneath and kind of lost any ability to get to the basket or pass it out and ended up committing the foul. First foul against the Bengals tonight. Trey Johnston coming down the court now. Ethan Pettis into the game. First time we're seeing Pettis. Also Ethan Larson is into the game for Blaine. Quick pull up there by Johnston is no good. And the rebound pulled down by Olson for Blaine. Quickly inside is Larson, and now here's Call. And Ethan Larson, he'll drive all the way to the basket and score. Nice aggressive move by the 6'3" senior Ethan Larson, going straight to the rack for the bucket, and it's 12-8. Now Johnston, he'll go the other way. A wild one, no good, but the rebound pulled down by Spring Lake Park. Logan Kinsey pulling it down. And now that one off the mark. Here comes Blaine. And Ethan Larson driving. Check that, Ethan Pettis scoring, and we've got a timeout called as it is 12-10 our score. Good early flow to this one as Spring Lake Park was able to build a 6-point early advantage, but a little 4-0 run here from Blaine has pulled this game to within 2. As Logan Kinsey off the bench. First time in several games he's seen some action here for Spring Lake Park, the 6'5" junior. And we've got the Blaine cheerleading squad here in the corner. We need to work on lighting the entire field house here if we're going to have cheerleaders in that part of the gym here, but nonetheless, hoping to keep the Bengals close early. As the Spring Lake Park Panthers will have the basketball to come out of the timeout. 10:52 remaining here in this first half. 2-point lead. They've led all the way, never trailed. Scored the first 5 and so far have not trailed. There's Ray. Will send it to the corner now for Johnston for 3. Good offensive rebound by Caleb Skelly flying in. Off to the top now for Thompson for 3. Another one. Peyton Thompson hitting the second 3 of the day for the Panthers. First points for him, and it's 15-10. Skelly also with a 3 today, and now a turnover. Quickly up the court to Thompson, and off the glass and good. 5 in a row for Peyton Thompson, and all of a sudden the biggest lead of the game, 17-10. So a 4-0 run for Blaine, but that's answered by a 5-0 run now for Spring Lake Park. And right underneath, easy play there, nice pass, getting it to Ethan Larson, who now has 4. Larson averaging 3.8 a game, already has 4 here tonight. Ray will pull it back out. And another 3. That's Caleb Skelly hitting a 3. And up to an 8-point lead now. So it was 6 for a while, and now we've got some scoring on both sides of Samuel Olson scoring. That's his first bucket of the game. And it's now 20-14. Back and forth we go now. 6-point lead now for the Spring Lake Park Panthers as Ray will set up the offense. There's Kinsey. And Thompson into the corner now for Ray. And a little turnaround shot for Logan Kinsey. 22-14. Kinsey averaging 9.6 points per game in 10 games this season. And back to the top now. There's Larson getting a screen now for Call. A long 3 is good. Aaron Call, his second 3 of the game. 22-17. And we've seen that before from Aaron Call. Now back the other way, a 3. Another 3 for Skelly. Second of the game, he's got 8. And 24, check that, 25-17. Back to an 8-point lead. We've got the 3s flying here early. And a 3 for Pettis. Why not? Ethan Pettis for 3. That is 7 3-pointers in the game now. 4 of them for Spring Lake Park. 3 of them so far for Blaine. 25-20. Outside shooting dialed up here tonight in Blaine. Here's Ray. Well, he thought about it, but Paul got in his face. Nice defense there by the junior. Spring Lake Park to reset with Johnston on the elbow. He's going to go to the rack. Off the glass, no good. And here's Stepanek quickly down the court. Blaine wants to run all of a sudden. As Stepanek nearly lost control, he did. As traveling is the call. Stepanek nearly picked up his second offensive foul at the same time. He put his elbow down, but he was underneath the basket in that no charge zone, but then lost control a bit and lost the ball in the process. Here's Thompson. Inside and a foul called as O'Giles will go to the line for a pair. As A.J. Call picks up his first foul, just the second team foul. And the first one is no good for Ojal, just a 53% free throw shooter. Evan Fedorovicius, 6'4" senior in the game. As the second one for Ojal is up and good. 26-20 the score. And now a whistle and jump ball is called. This is going to go back to Spring Lake Park. So a loose ball turnover there. As Fedorovicius gets involved with the forced turnover. And now Skelly with the basketball. 7 minutes to play here in the first half. Spring Lake Park has led throughout so far. As Thompson backs away from the double team. And Skelly will get it back once again, this time 1-to-1. And Ojal. Yeah, Skelly nearly drew the foul there. Larson nearly fell right into him. Underneath, trapped underneath is Ojal. Kicks it out. The three no good by Skelly. And here comes Blaine, a 3-on-2. A.J. Call pulls up. Now into the corner for Moyne. And they'll reset. Pettis now takes the three and hits. Ethan Pettis now with 2 threes in the game and 8 points overall. 26-23 now. A one-possession game and nearly a turnover. Ball is loose underneath, picked up by Skelly, and he'll score. Double figures now for Skelly. 28-23. 5:56 to go. Skelly already into double figures. Nice move underneath by Olsen. Spinning around Caleb Skelly and drawing the foul. He'll go to the line for 2. We'll have some substitutions coming in for Blaine during the time. Looks like a line change coming. We've got multiple for Blaine and for Spring Lake Park. Olsen to the line. And the first one is 2. He missed a pair earlier, but scoring from the line now. Johnston, Leifker, and Ray all coming back into the game for Spring Lake Park. Myers and Moyne also back in for Blaine. Olsen hits the second, and now Jack Pelkey coming into the game. 28-25. Spring Lake Park is led by as many as 8 and has never trailed. The game has not been tied as of yet. Ray dishes inside, now back out. Ojal dials it up again. This one a little bit short and picked up quickly now by Myers. Stepanek gives off to Pettis. He'll dial up a long 3, and that's no good as Ray skies high for the rebound. And pushing the ball quickly, Ojal underneath. A nice move underneath on the reverse by Logan Kinsey. He's got 4 in the game. And back to a 5-point lead at 30-25. Just over 5 minutes to play here in the first half. It's been a good one. Back and forth. Outside shooting has been hot for both teams early. As Pettis will pull up from 16. And Leifker pulls down the rebound. Quickly up the court to Ray, but no numbers. He'll direct the traffic from the top of the key. Off now to Johnston. And now Kinsey. Backing his way in, pulls up. And hits. Logan Kinsey now with 6 points in the game. And back to a 7-point advantage at 32-25. Myers now to Pettis. And Pelkey. Good rotation now to Moyne. Everybody touching the basketball here on this possession. Leifker way out guarding, and not looking for it was Stepanek. That pass came in, and nice job by Jack Leifker, kind of trapping his man Pelkey way out away from the basketball, and that forced the turnover. Spring Lake Park could take their biggest lead of the night with a basket here. They led 20-12 and also 22-14 earlier in the night. There's Leifker. Trey Johnston guarded out there by Stepanek. He'll go to the dribble. Leifker again. Backing his way in. Had a double team, but it doesn't matter when you're 6'8". And it's 34-25. Biggest lead of the game now at 9. Myers now with the basketball. Off to Call. AJ with 2 triples in the game. Oh, Stepanek traveled. Caught the ball, then took the step. And an easy call there by officiating. As Skelly comes in for Kinsey, who will leave after scoring 6 points. 3 minutes to go, first half. 9-point advantage here for Spring Lake Park. We're glad you're joining us here tonight from Blaine. I'm Nick Walsh for North Metro 15. Leifker rotates left to right now, giving it off to Skelly. And now Johnston with the basketball. Oh, pick and roll, but the roll wasn't quite there yet. Gonna leave it in the oven a few more minutes. A turnover, and the Blaine Bengals have the basketball. Here's the kick out to Stepanek for 3. In and out. The threes have not been dropping like they were a few minutes ago. Here comes Skelly, and he takes steps. So a turnover. Panthers playing a little quicker than they were ready for there, and Blaine will get the basketball back. Nice call, the pump fake. Now back out to Stepanek. Been a quiet game as far as the whistles. Just 2 fouls for Blaine, 3 for Spring Lake Park. 16 minutes into the first half. Here's Call dialing up for 3, and another one. A.J. Call with 3 triples in the game. 34-28. I was in a game here last year when he had 8 triples. And he's almost halfway there here in the first half with 3 of them. Here's Fitzray driving all the way in, missing it, but the rebound underneath and the putback by O'Giles no good, and now a foul. And it's going to go against Spring Lake Park. That's what happens when you start talking about the lack of fouls. O'Giles will pick up the foul. 4th against Spring Lake Park. 90 seconds to play in the first half. Here comes Myers across the timeline, giving off now to Stepanek. He'll drive all the way in. Nice move underneath. Scoop shot for the hoop. Stepanek is on the board for the first time tonight. He averages a little over 7. And it's a 4-point game. And now quickly the other way, Johnston off the glass. And that's the first 2 points for Trey Johnston, who averages 13.8 per game. And now a turnover. Here comes Ray going Euro step in to drive and score. 9 points now in the game for Fitzray. 38-30. And what once was just a 3-point game here just a minute ago has turned into an 8-point game at 38-30. And we've seen Ray with a couple of steals and scores. And that's why he's got 9 points in the game so far, almost to his average of 11.4. You can see Mark Arsdorf talking with the Blaine Bengals here. making sure that they stay focused for here in this last minute. And meanwhile, long-time Spring Lake Park coach Grant Guzzi there as well. Two good coaches here tonight. And we've seen some good fundamental play, a couple of highlight reel plays as well, and that's why we've got a good one here tonight. An 8-point advantage for Spring Lake Park. They're trying to sharpen their skills one last time before heading into that Section 7 tournament. And it'll be fun to just have a tournament this year. Spring Lake Park last year cut off prior to the section final last year, and that was going to be a great matchup between Spring Lake Park and Park Center last year, but wasn't to be. 1 year ago today is when things really started to shut down, and here we are back again, hopefully to conclude the season instead of just starting it like we did last year. 38-30, 44.8 seconds to go. Here's Moyne off to call. He'll try it again. This one not to be. It'll go up over the top and touch the rails. And so 37.2 seconds to go. We'll see what Spring Lake Park does here. They could hold it for the last shot. That's not always their MO, but it looks like they are in no hurry right now, at least, as Johnston will trot it across the timeline. As Ray guarded way out there by Moyne, and now back to Johnston. 20 seconds to go. And they're going to play for the last shot here. 15 seconds to go as O'Giles got it. And what do we got here? A foul away from the basketball. Looks like maybe Myers picked up a hold away from the basketball. Just the third of this half. Call and Stepanek, the other players, with one each. So maybe just trying to throw Spring Lake Park out of rhythm here as Johnston gives off to Ray. 5 seconds now to go. Ray will drive, and a little bump there. And Isaac Moyne, that was kind of a unintentional foul maybe. With only 3 team fouls, they're going to try and take Spring Lake Park off their game here as the inbound goes inside to Life Curry. Gets it off the glass and good. And the clock will run out, and a nice play at the end of the half as Spring Lake Park opens up the biggest lead of the game at the half. Right now, we have a score of Spring Lake Park 40 and Blaine 30 as we will take a break here from Blaine as we've got high school basketball at the half. Spring Lake Park 40, Blaine 30. You're watching high school basketball here on North Metro TV. And we are back here for the second half of tonight's game. Spring Lake Park with a 10-point lead at the half. As this is their biggest lead, but A.J. Call tries to answer and can't get it to go. As Skelly with the rebound. Spring Lake Park has led all the way, but this is their largest of the game. They scored with 2 seconds left. Jack Leifker under the glass to make it a 10-point game. And here's Fitzray. On the far side, Skelly for 3. That's no good, but we've got a foul called. And is that going to be a 3-point old school way here as Skelly will go to the line, and Dylan Myers called for his second. Caleb Skelly led all scorers in the first half, 10 points for him. Fitzgerald Ray with 9. The first one is good for Skelly. 6 points for Logan Kinsey, 5 points for Peyton Thompson, 4 points for Leifker and O'Gile, and 2 points for Trey Johnson for a total of 40. Second one no good for Skelly. He was fouled on the 3-point opportunity, so one more coming yet. And that one's in and out. So just 1 of 3 from the line here for Skelly. And here comes Blaine with their second possession here in the second half as Myers will bring it across the timeline. And now Moyne, same 5 starters for both sides to start the second half. Moyne giving it off now to Myers again. Stepanek will back it out. Defense here. There's Olsen underneath, though, and was able to beat the defense. Olsen had 4 points in the first half. A.J. Call led the way with 9 for Blaine. Pettis with 8. 4 points for the aforementioned Olsen and Ethan Larson. 2 points each for Moyne and Stepanek, and 1 for Myers for a total of 30. And that one's stolen away. Blaine trying to climb back into this one, down by 10 at the half. Jump step there for Olsen, but can't get it to go down. It will be Spring Lake Park ball. O'Giles slings it across now to Leifker at the top. Well, Trey Johnston gets its inside. Jump step there for Leifker, and he's got his first bucket of the second half after 4 in the first. To an 11-point lead. Now that's the biggest of the game. It's been kind of like that all game long. As the 3 will go for Isaac Moyne. He rattles it home, his first points of the second half. All game long, it's just been a slow burn to build this lead up. It was a 6-point lead early for Spring Lake Park as Ray drives in, and he's in double figures now with 11. 45-35. It was 6, then it was 7, 8, 9, and then 10 right at the half mark for Spring Lake Park, and up to 11, and now back to 10. And now to 8. And driving in is Stepanek for the bucket. He's got 4. Well, it just seems like every time Blaine has tried to cut into this lead, Spring Lake Park has been able to put just a little bit of a run together to increase the lead ever so slightly. It's never been a big run by any means. It's just been, you know, bucket by bucket as Skelly the offensive rebound and the step back there from the baseline. And makes it back to a 10-point game just like that. It just seems like every time Blaine gets a bucket, Spring Lake Park just answers with another one. And once in a while, a 2 is answered with a 3. Meanwhile, a 3 here for A.J. Call as he's got 4 triples in the game and 12 overall. And that makes it a 7-point lead for Spring Lake Park as the timeout is called. Here with 14:34 to play here in the second half. Second timeout called by the Blaine Bengals. They have 3 remaining. Spring Lake Park also took one in the first half. And so they have 4 remaining. And of course, as has been the case all season long, all the timeouts are full timeouts just to try and keep maybe people spread out a little bit. And it gives us a chance to talk a little bit about these tournaments that are coming up. Spring Lake Park, as we mentioned, this is their last regular season game. And if you were to ask my uninformed opinion, we'll call it, I would say that Spring Lake Park looks like they're headed for maybe a 4 seed in their Section 5 tournament. Champlain Park comes into the night at a perfect 17-0, and they're rolling along. They're playing Park Center tonight. Well, it'll be interesting to see how that comes out. Mounds View, very good. They're probably in line for the number 2. Park Center, if they could maybe knock off Champlain Park tonight, maybe things would rotate a little bit between the 2 and the 3. I don't think Champlain Park's in any danger of losing the 1 seed. And then Spring Lake Park, I think they're right there at number 4. Osseo, a couple of wins behind them, and then we've got Roseville, Centennial, and Irondale rounding out the field in Section 5. So I would guess Spring Lake Park looking like they're maybe the 4 seed and maybe a dangerous 4 seed as Johnston off the missed 3. Here comes Stepanek. We'll talk about Section 7 a little later on. As this one inside to Olsen and scoops it up and in. Olsen's got 8 now in the game. And here comes Blaine. 47-42, under 14 to play. Still lots of time in this one. And a good one, a 5-point advantage as Ray will dial it up, and that's off the front iron. Poked away, nicely done by Skelly. As he gets it off now, rolling around as Johnston won't get it to go, but another offensive rebound. And this will go out to Ray, who slices into the lane, and he'll go to the line for 2. Well, it looks like they're going to get number 21, Sam Olsen. Ray had to go basically to Spring Lake Park to go retrieve the basketball, and then we'll come back to shoot it. Big, long field house here in Blaine. And the first one is up and good. Ray now with 12 points in the game. He's already passed his average. 11.4. Had 9 in the first half, has 4 in the second half. And it's a 7-point lead now for Spring Lake Park, 49-42. Stepanek nearly carried the basketball. Now gets it out for Myers. That one won't go. Leifker the rebound for Spring Lake Park. And Johnston will set the offense. O'Giles and back to Leifker. Both of these teams move the basketball well, and they're going to get a hand check from behind. That's Stepanek. It is his second. It's already the third team foul against the Bengals here in the first 5. Neither team was in any sort of foul trouble in the first half, but 3 here for the Bengals and nary a foul yet for Spring Lake Park here in the second half. Skelly with the basketball, now stepping back, getting it back out to Ray. Trying to get it in for Leifker. That slips right through his hands, but out to Johnston, who gives to O'Giles, and all air there. But Ray underneath all alone. He goes back up, and he'll go to the line again. And who are they going to get? Underneath, looks like it's Samuel Olsen. And Sam picks up his second foul of the night. And Ray will go back to the line, a 76.8% free throw shooter. And he's 2 for 2 tonight. And the jinx strikes again. Ethan Larson coming into the game for the first time in the second half. Also, Ethan Pettis is into the game. Second one's good. Myers and Moyne are out of the game. 1 of 2 from the line, and it's an 8-point lead, 50-42. And now Blaine is having a hard time getting it up the court, but finally gets it up as Olsen will go off the glass, and that one's too strong. It's Skelly on the weak side with the rebound. Skelly now out to Johnston on the elbow, finding Leifker. Leifker can't get it the roll, and A.J. Call with the rebound. There's Larson into the paint. Back out to Pettis. Pettis just a freshman, by the way, number 24. As that one's tipped away. Loose ball picked up by Skelly. A turnover here for the Panthers. And on the run as Skelly goes all the way to the window. Won't go, though. Ray, the offensive board and the putback, though. Fitz Ray working hard underneath. And it's back to a 10-point lead. Fitz Ray averaging 11.4 points, but also nearly 5 rebounds a game, and we've got a foul. And I think we're going to get a foul on Ray. Check that. They're going to call Leifker away from the basketball with his second. Just the first foul. And we're going to have substitutions. Ray and O'Giles will come out of the game. Kinsey and Peyton Thompson back in for Spring Lake Park. Stepanek with it. Now Call. And Olsen. Back to the basket on Leifker. Now we'll front the basket. Goes into a double team, but can't score the basketball. And the Blaine fans upset there was no call there. As that pass tried to sling it in was Thompson, and it gets picked up. And now here's the Euro step for Olsen, and he'll score. Sam Olsen in double figures now with 10. 52-44, 10:51 to go here. It's been back and forth, but as Kinsey gets it inside, can't get it to go, gets his own rebound. Now Leifker will Get it back out to Johnston, who will reset. It's been back and forth, but sometimes where Blaine's gotten 2s, Spring Lake Park's gotten 3s. And it's just a slow buildup as this drive will draw the foul as Peyton Thompson will go to the line. Deuce is wild for Larson as he picks up his first, 22. There's Peyton Thompson, 5. Check that 7 in the first half. Check that 5 in the first half. Hasn't scored here in the second half. First one will touch every part of the rim before dropping. Thompson is 68% free throw shooter at the line. We'll get one more. 2 of 2 for Thompson, and right back to where we have been for most of this second half. A double-digit lead for Spring Lake Park, and a steal. Johnston, and oh wow, as Thompson, either that ball got swatted hard from behind or there was a missed foul there, and it turns into a 3 by Ethan Pettis on the other side. Ethan Pettis has 3 triples here in the game, first in the second half. He's got 11 in the game, averaging 9.2. Here's Leifker into the paint. Bouncing off bodies and scoring. 4 in the first half, 4 in the second. And a 9-point lead. 56-47, 9.5 minutes to go. Blaine has just not been able to make any sort of headway on this, what was a 10-point halftime lead. As Larson will drive in and score. Nice underneath. And he's got 6 in the game. 56-49 now. And this is the type of avenue that Blaine will score, and for the most part, Spring Lake Park has just been able to answer. Halfway home in the second half, it's a 9-point lead. It was a 10-point Spring Lake Park halftime lead. 40-30 at the half. Now 56-49. And Spring Lake Park taking the air out of it a little bit here. Bengal fans trying to fire up the home team as this one is tipped on the 3 by Skelly, and then a foul call. And they're going to get Logan Kinsey on the foul here for Spring Lake Park. Just the second team foul for Spring Lake Park. Blaine has 5. 7-point lead, a chance for Blaine to trim the lead further. Stepanek gets it off to Call in the corner. He'll bring it back to the top. Closest it's been, as here's a 3, that's off the bank and no good. Wild shot, nearly went in though off the bank. As this one underneath to Kinsey, the turnaround, and will go. And that's the way it's gone all game long. Blaine has had chances, just hasn't been able to get him to drop, and then Spring Lake Park will answer with a bucket, and right back to a 9-point game again. Stepanek on the elbow, guarded by Skelly, and we've got a foul. They're going to get Skelly with his second. Moyne coming back into the game. He'll replace Stepanek. Moyne, 5 points tonight. The lob goes inside to Olsen and nearly got deflected away by Leifker. Here's a 3 on the way. That's not going to go from Pettis, and Leifker the rebound. Chance to push this one back to double digits once again for Spring Lake Park. That is really extending the defense. Now underneath to Kinsey, who scores again. He got lost underneath, and he's in double figures now with 10. And an 11-point lead, and This again matches the highest advantage of the game for Spring Lake Park. They led 43-32 and a couple other times. Never above 11, but that's where we're at. Now call a long three, and that's nothing but air. Saved underneath by Blaine, and now blocked away by Skelly as Olsen went in. Now here's Moyne for three. That won't go. And now Kinsey's going to be called, I believe, for being over the back. And he will, and that'll be number 2 for him. Really working hard underneath on the rebounding on both sides. Spring Lake Park has been impressive, but that time a little too aggressive. Leifker and Thompson are out of the game. Ray coming back in, and he loses his man. Driving in and scoring is Isaac Moyne. 60-51. Good move there by Moyne. He faked out Ray and went straight to the hoop. Kinsey off the block, back out to the top for Ogile. He'll pull up from 16. Tipped around, and here's Blaine. Another chance to trim this lead. Olsen getting it up now to Larson. Under 6 minutes now to play. Still time, but the Bengals have to start trying to chip a little better into this lead. They just haven't been able to get it much past about 7. Nice turnaround there, and off the glass and good. Sam Olsen has 8 in the second half, 12 in the game. And it is 60-53 now. And back to a 7-point game. And so a timeout here. And the Bengals will call a timeout. And that gives us a chance to talk a little about the Section 7 race. As Blaine, they still have one more game. They play at Elk River on Tuesday next week before going into the playoffs. And if I had to guess as well, I think Blaine also right around that 4 seed. Andover and Duluth East are probably 1 and 2. Forest Lake, a 10-7 record right now as well. They're above 500. And then Blaine's, even with a 6-10 record, right in the middle, along with Coon Rapids. That could be a coin flip between Blaine and Coon Rapids. Blaine at 6-10, Coon Rapids is 7-10. However, Blaine did defeat Coon Rapids, so if it comes down to that, Blaine could overtake Coon Rapids. Of course, it depends on what happens the rest of the way here as well. And then Cambridge, Isanti, and Anoka both struggling again this year, so they're probably the 6 and 7. So both of these teams probably looking at right around that 4 seed, 4 or 5 seed in their respective tournaments. Spring Lake Park in Section 5. A very challenging section there again. Champlin Park, Mounds View, Park Center, all very good. Probably getting seated ahead of Spring Lake Park. Should be good. And it's good to have any tournaments, as we mentioned before this year. 5:22 to go in this one. As this is Fedor Vicious, and nearly lost it. Now they find the cutter inside. Nick Ogile cutting inside. That's his first bucket of the second half. 62-53. Ogile with 6 in the game. And now drawing contact underneath is Ethan Larson. Nice job there. Got Fedor Vicious off his feet, and he'll draw the foul. First personal against Fedor Vicious, and the 5th against the Panthers. Ethan Larson with 6 in the game. And missed the first one. Max Stepanek coming back in for Pettis. And the second one is no good. And that's just kind of how it's gone for Blaine. They've played competitively, but just little by little they have fallen behind and just have not been able to climb back into it as Call now picks up the foul on the rebound. That's his second. And now 6 against the Bengals, so any ensuing non-offensive foul will result in free throws as they lost Kinsey underneath, and he's got 6 in each half. 64-53. He's got 12 in the game. And again, it's been at 11 several times. This is the biggest of the game. Now into the corner for Moyne. Yes! Isaac Moyne with his second triple of the game. And back again. The question is, can Blaine get a stop? Or will Spring Lake Park answer once again? Fedora Vicious gets it inside to Ray, and Ray will go right to the hoop and in. 9 in each half now for Fitz-Ray. And a 10-point lead. He's got 18 points in the game. Now a long three for Call. It won't go as Kinsey the rebound. And with 4 minutes to go, Spring Lake Park slows it down a little bit. Ray, and now to Kinsey. Looking for their shot, and that's stolen away. Nice job by Sam Olsen stepping in. And now Call with it. Far side for Stepanek and into the corner. Moyne just hit one over there. And he'll step back, try it again, and hits it again. Isaac Moyne now with 3 threes in the second half. And cut the lead back down to 7, and a timeout called here with 3:25 to go. This is about the limit to where it's been. It has not been larger than an 11-point lead for Spring Lake Park. It has not been any smaller than a 7-point lead. It's been 7 a couple of different times, 56-49. Correct, I'm going to correct myself. It was 6 points. Check that, 5 points once. It was 47-42. Spring Lake Park, it's been as low as 5, but that was very early in the second half. And it was followed by a 5-0 run to Spring Lake Park to build back to a double-digit lead at 10. So the one time it was closer than this, again, Spring Lake Park was able to answer and build it right back up. So for Blaine and Coach Arsdorf, the question is, how do they get the stop here? Or for Grant Guzzi's Panthers, can they just continue to answer here in the final 3:25 and just maintain this lead and get win number 12 overall and win number 8 in conference? Isaac Moyne with back-to-back threes there to close this thing up. He had 2 points in the first half, but 11 in the second half. Only averages 6.5 per game, but 13 points tonight, and he's helping to keep the Bengals in it. Skelly to inbound, and full court pressure shown here by Blaine. Thompson finally gets it across to Ray. And Leifker now in the corner. Spring Lake Park will take their time here. They're not in any hurry, up by 7. It's not quite the 4 corners, but they are spreading the floor. O'Gile, and right back to Ray. Into the corner now. O'Gile thought about it. Now we'll step in. Out to Ray. This possession started with 3:25 to go. They've taken off 45 seconds here on this possession. Literally in no hurry whatsoever. And a foul is going to be called. Larson will be called. And Larson did have some contact, but we're just past Oscar season. Skelly might want to pursue an acting career. And like I said, there was some contact, but not a lot. And Skelly sold it well, but can't finish. And sometimes the rim doesn't lie. It's Moyne with the basketball. Down by 7. Moyne will try it again. Yes! 4 threes in the second half for Isaac Moyne. And it's a 4-point game. This is as close as it's been since all the way back when it was 28-25. A 4-point lead. And now Spring Lake Park will have to answer. or it could get more interesting yet. 1:52 to play here in regulation. Johnston dishes underneath, driving in is Skelly, and he can't finish, and the rebound pulled down by Ethan Larson. Here comes Blaine. 100 seconds to play in regulation. Larson handing it off, driving in, wild shot, but a foul called. They're going to get Ray under the basket. And Stepanek will go to the line to try and make it a one-possession game. That's the 7th team foul. Check that the 6th team foul, but it will be free throws coming here for Stepanek. And the first one, nothing but net. This is a 10-2 run. It was an 11-point lead, 64-53. Second one won't go. Still a one-possession game as the rebound by Skelly. 90 seconds to go. Ray will take his time before crossing the timeline. Nearly stolen there by Olsen. Instead, Skelly will have it. Now out to Ray. 1:15 to go. Ray will go aggressive to the hoop. That ball is kicked. It'll stay with Spring Lake Park. If Blaine could get a stop here. Very interesting scenario. Meanwhile, Spring Lake Park looking to try and salt this away, and we've got a foul. No, they're going to say it was not touched, and it's a turnover. I thought the whistle came early, which I thought meant there was a foul there, but maybe just an early whistle as it was rolling out of bounds. Blaine basketball, one-possession game. It has never been any closer than 3. Here's Olsen driving in. That might have been tipped, and they're going to get a late whistle. Foul called against Skelly. Initially, it didn't look like they were going to call a foul, and then a late whistle, and Grant Guzzi with his hands on his head. Olsen will go to the line for 2. First one is good. Olsen 3 of 5 tonight. An 8-0 run right now for Blaine. And make it a 9-0 run, 66-65. It's a one-point game. Both teams with 7 fouls. Possession arrow favors Spring Lake Park. Into the corner for Kinsey. Down to 40 seconds. Johnston, left then right. Goes into the lane, off the glass, and good. Trey Johnston with just 4 points now in the game. Still a one-possession game. And will Blaine let it ride or call the timeout? And it'll be a timeout for Coach Arsdorf, as they will call their third of 5 timeouts. Each team will have 2 timeouts remaining now, so timeout's not an issue here. 68-65, but Blaine was able to cut it to 1 before the bucket there by Johnston. Back to a 3-point game. Spring Lake Park scored the first 5 and has never trailed. It has not been tied tonight. Spring Lake Park, a wire-to-wire game so far, but with 19 seconds to go, a chance for Blaine. If you're looking at 3-point opportunities, of course, A.J. Call can dial it up from outside. He's got 4 3-pointers tonight. Ethan Pettis was not in the game, but maybe checking in. He's got 3. And Isaac Moyne with 4 threes, all of them coming in the second half. And it looks like it'll be Stepanek coming in, Olsen, Moyne, Ethan Larson, and A.J. Call. So Pettis not in the game. For Spring Lake Park, Kinsey, Ogile, Johnston, Ray, and Skelly. 15 seconds to go. The dump will go inside to Olsen. Now out to Stepanek for the tie. No! Rebound pulled down by Skelly. And it'll be a foul here with 7.5 seconds to go. Stepanek had a good look from the near corner and a wide open opportunity, as Larson will be called for his third. And now Skelly, who is a 73.8% free throw shooter, will go to the line. However, he is 1 of 4 tonight. 1 and 1, and that one's long, and the rebound pulled down by Olsen. He's got 5 seconds. Olsen will stop, now pull up for 3, off the mark, rebound called for the tie. Yes! It counts! And we go to overtime. A.J. Call! And a friendly rim here to tie the game and send us to overtime. My, oh my, 5 threes. None more important than that one. This game has never been tied, and Blaine has never led. And how dramatic is that one? As it sat perilously on the front of the rim after the buzzer had gone final, and the ball rolls in. And A.J. Call saves the day for now for the Blaine Bengals. And so we go to overtime, tied at 68. Blaine outscoring Spring Lake Park 38-28 in the second half. And remember, it was a 10-point game, 66-56, but a 12-2 run to finish the second half. And the man of the hour there, the junior, A.J. Call, 15 points, 5 three-pointers. And we go another 4 to decide this version of the Cat Clash here tonight on North Metro TV. Here's Stepanek trying to get it inside to Olsen. He missed a double dribble there. He lost that basketball, but they play on, and now Blaine losing the basketball, and now Call will be called for the foul as he runs into Ray after he had established possession. So free throws coming here for Spring Lake Park as Call will be called for his third. Ray, who is 1 for 4 from the line despite being a 77% free throw shooter on the season, will go to the line for a 1 and 1. 9th team foul for Blaine. And 1 in and 1 coming. Second one will not go. 69-68. Blaine has yet to lead in this game. Their only tie was at 68. Into the corner now for Moyne. He hit 4 of them out there in that same corner, but this time elects to pass it back out. Stepanek now to Moyne on the near side. This is Larson. Goes to the dribble. In trouble, finds Call in the corner. Now underneath the Stepanek, and we've got a traveling. Stepanek has been called for a couple of those tonight. Losing control and now possession. The only tie prior to 68 all was the zeros to start the game. And we have not had a lead change tonight. Spring Lake Park scored the first 5 and hasn't looked back until now. Here's Ogile, top of the key, giving off to Johnston. Ray, not about the 3, now will drive in, and a foul is called I believe on the shot for Ray. They're going to get Larson. And Larson called for his fourth, and so double bonus time for Spring Lake Park as Ray will go back to the line for two this time. And that one won't go. Ray just has not been able to adjust. You know, I mentioned before, they've got a lot of room behind the baskets on both sides, but particularly on this end. Ray is 4 of 7 tonight. And count it for 5 of 8. Only 2 points of overtime so far. A pair of free throws by Fitzgerald Ray. 70-68 now, Panthers. Stepanek. Oh, kicks it out. Might have gotten away with more steps. Pettis with the basketball. Well, getting it inside, Stepanek, and we've got a timeout called by Blaine. Before the tie-up, it'll be another timeout for Blaine. Now, each team got a timeout back, so Blaine now with 2 timeouts remaining, and Spring Lake Park with 3. This is one of those all game long. Spring Lake Park just a slow burn to build up from a 2 to 5, 6, 8, 9, and then a 10-point lead at half. It grew to as many as 11 in the second half, but Blaine a big run, 10-2 to finish off this second half, getting us to overtime. And now a one-possession game as Blaine will have the basketball. Spring Lake Park will head to the Section 5 tournament after this. Blaine has one more game at Elk River before they head to the Section 7 Class 4A tournament. There's A.J. Call, who sent us to overtime with the 3, and how that ball got back to Call in time for him to pull the trigger. That ball off the miss in the corner, and just enough time to get it off. He had no time to think. Just got it off as Stepanek can't finish. And Spring Lake Park again with the basketball, halfway home in overtime. Skelly pass right back to Kinsey, and he couldn't handle it. And Spring Lake Park gives the ball right back to Blaine. Bengals have yet to score in the extra session. A 2-0 advantage in this first overtime. Caleb Skelly, 13 points in the game for Spring Lake Park. And some full court pressure here from Spring Lake Park, but not heavy. There's Call. Handing off to Stepanek. Pettis now open for 3, and the lead won't go, but Call the rebound, and he's being held on the floor. It'll be the 8th team foul against the Panthers. And Logan Kinsey will pick up his 3rd, but more importantly, that sends A.J. Call to the line. He has not scored from the free throw line or inside the 3-point line. He's got 5 threes for a total of 15. And that breaks that as he's now at 16 and can tie this one at 70 with a second made free throw. And we're tied again. Only the second tie of the night here at 70. 90 seconds to go in our first overtime. What a great end of the year matchup. It's a great way to prep us for tournament time. Blaine fans stomping on the bleachers here. In the corner now is Ogile. Back up to Ray, and Spring Lake Park might be trying to run this clock out. I wouldn't be surprised unless they get a wide open shot. Ogile off to Skelly now. Inside to Kinsey, cutting to the basket and good. 14 now for Kinsey, 72-70. And they got a good open drive, and that's going to prompt another timeout by the Blaine Bengals. So 47.6 seconds to play. Blaine will use a timeout. They've got one left. Spring Lake Park still with 3. So yet again, Blaine has had some chances, and just as they tie things up again, Spring Lake Park right away answers to retake the lead. Yeah, you can't ask for probably any better than this for a regular season matchup. Of course, two rivals like these two. It's one of those throw the record out type games. Grant Guzzi now just saying we need a stop, we need a rebound. You can see that hand signal. Get those hands up. Any ball that goes up, anticipate a miss. Pull that rebound down and hopefully try and get to the line and salt this one away. But Blaine, meanwhile, looking to tie or retake, or I should say take the lead. They have never had the lead, so they can't retake something they haven't had. 40 seconds to go, and Ray way out near midcourt on the defense. Far side, Stepanek. Into the lane. He stops, and a foul is called. And it looks like, I believe, Trey Johnston will be called. That's just his first foul, but team foul number 9, which is important because it's not 10. This is a 1-and-1. Stepanek, 1 of 1 from the line. And it won't go down as Kinsey the rebound. 26 seconds to go. And how long does Mark Arsdorf's squad wait before a foul? And they wait till 20.8. They will foul Caleb Skelly, who again, 77%. Check that, 74%, but again, 1 of 4 from the line. So Panthers looking for 2 here. And the first one, nothing but net. One more would make it a 2-possession game with 20.8 seconds to go. And rolls in. Friendly roll for Caleb Skelly, 74-70, and now Blaine's got to hurry. 2-possession game. As Moyne will bring it up. Pettis now for Call, down to 13 seconds to go. Call gets a screen, heaves up a 3, and it's nothing but air as Kinsey the rebound. And a foul called with 6.3 seconds to go. And it looks like Spring Lake Park will survive after getting a big scare to send this one to overtime. Moyne will get called for the foul, his second. Already in the double bonus, so 2 free throws coming for Kinsey. First one no good. Blaine would need a miracle here, but it is, well, more difficult now as Kinsey makes 1 of 2. 75-70, quickly up the court. Call, nearly lost it, puts up a 3. And nothing there as the clock runs down to 0. And the Spring Lake Park Panthers survive by a score of 75-70 after Aaron A.J. Call sends the game to overtime with a last millisecond 3-pointer. What a great game here we had tonight as the Bengals fought all the way, but the Panthers lead all the way, and they win this one 75-70. Spring Lake Park now 12-6 overall, 8-5 in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Blaine, meanwhile, falls to 7-11 and 4-8. Spring Lake Park's regular season's complete. They'll get set to prepare for the Section 5 tournament. Blaine has 1 game left next Tuesday at Elk River before heading off to the Section 7 playoffs. Want to thank all of our crew here in Blaine, here for North Metro TV. I want to thank Jeremy back in the studio, or in the truck as well. And as always, want to thank you, the fans. Without you, there would be no reason for us. So we're glad you're here. With that, I want to remind you to stay positive, test negative. And with that, this is Nick Walsh signing off. 7570 Spring Lake Park. You've been watching high school sports on North Metro TV. So long, everybody.